Good afternoon. Welcome to Open Mic.
Desire. Drove 115 miles in the wrong direction to warm myself by your fire. Your love wraps like fingers around my neck. Don't wanna run and I can't hide. Sometimes it feels like I'm buried alive, like I'm buried alive. Captivated, you're filled with jealousy. In the crowded room where you called on my name, and the people watch me. I'm irresistible poison running through your veins. Don't wanna run and you can't hide. Sometimes it feels like you're buried alive, like you're buried alive. We promised each other that we'd never be more than friends. But in that battle, baby, yeah, we're both on the losing end. We took a wrong turn, though we can't remember where or when. Yeah, but there's no turning back, 'cause I never see this place again. Intoxicated, ill-fated, unmatched chemistry. All it takes is a spark in the early morning dark. We're lost in ecstasy. We cling to each other just to survive. Don't wanna run and we can't hide. Sometimes it feels like we're buried alive, like we're buried alive. Yeah, it feels like we're buried alive. We're like we're buried alive.
This is Beebs, KGPR, North Central Montana, and it's my pleasure to have Sena Ehrhardt. Sena, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me.
And you're a Minnesota girl, so you kind of know what it's like in this area.
Absolutely. We had 12 inches of snow today.
Oh, you did, huh? So
I'm not kidding.
I was in Sioux Falls a couple weeks ago, and it just never quit.
No, it's insane. It hasn't been this way since I think they were saying around the turn of the century.
So are you not touring right now, or are you?
I actually I work during the day at Mayo Clinic here in Rochester, Minnesota, in the cardiac surgical area. I'm a case coordinator during my day job.
Oh, wow.
And then, and then we actually have our CD release party this coming weekend in Minneapolis. And from there, we are touring every weekend and sometimes during the week through the whole summer.
So have you ever come to Montana way?
I've only been in Montana for vacation and for fun, not yet to play. We are going to be out in Colorado this summer, and I can't wait to get out west.
Yeah. And your new album's called All In.
Yes.
And it's your sophomore album, or CD.
Right. This is the second release on Blind Pig Records, and we're just really thrilled to bring some new songs to our fans.
So how do they find you?
Blind Pig, it was kind of a cool story. I have a long-standing friendship with Smokin' Joe Kubek. He is a blues man out of the Dallas, Texas area, and he really believed in what I was doing and sent some YouTubes over to the president of Blind Pig Records, Jerry Del Judas, out of Chicago, and said, you know, check this girl out, give her a chance. And Jerry actually surprised me one night and flew to Minneapolis from Chicago and caught one of my shows and offered me a record deal the following day.
Wow. And so in Minnesota,
cool.
what size venues do you play there? Are you more of a club scene?
We're doing clubs and theaters, and as we're moving into the summer, we're doing lots of the bigger blues festivals. One of the flagship blues festivals of the Midwest is called Bayfront Blues Festival. It's held right on Lake Superior. We're doing that this year on their main stage. So it's kind of a mix. We love really all the different types of venues, anything from a juke joint all the way up to the big festivals with, you know, thousands.
So basically, you just like to play.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what are your influences growing up? Who would they be?
Well, my dad is the guitar player, one of the guitar players in my band, and he's been a blues man for my whole life and has played in different bands professionally for, 40 years or so since he was a young teenager. And so I would say he definitely has had the most profound influence on me musically. And we always had people like B.B. King, Albert King, Robert Cray playing in the home, and some of the great female artists like Etta James and Coco Taylor. That's really what I grew up listening to and who moves me. And
your dad is your lead guitar player?
He is, and we are very excited. We actually just brought another guitar player on board. When we were recording our most recent album, there were 2 guitar parts on the majority of the songs. We had a great studio musician named Harold Smith come in and work with us for the album. And so to kind of replicate some of that instrumentation and the arrangements, we've brought on a great guitar player out of Minneapolis. His name is Cole Allen, and so I'm really excited to work with him as well.
And your dad plays the wah-wah pedal?
He sure does. I have a T-shirt, though, that says that I'm the original crybaby.
That's good. And what kind, do you write your own music and songs?
Absolutely. Our freshman release on Blind Pig Records was 100% original songs. And for this go-around with the sophomore album All In, there are 7 songs that are originals and 3 covers. And then there's a song that was submitted by a Grammy-winning songwriter, Tom Hembridge. He's won Grammys for writing for Buddy Guy and is just a wonderful guy. And so we have one song by him on the record as well.
I've had enough of biding my time. I've waited way too long for you to make up your mind. Is what you're saying to me the truth or just a lie? You said you need some time, and I'm supposed to be just fine. Either you're all in or I'm out. I'm out. Guess I could say I tell me what you're gonna do. Show me what you did. You didn't take care of business. You acted like a kid. You thought you'd do this enough to get by. Well, then really what you did was saying goodbye. Either you're all in or I'm out. I'm out. Well, baby, I'm out. I'm out.
And the producer of your record was Jim Gaines, who is quite notable as far
Yes,
as music producer
speaking of
goes.
Right. Speaking of the Grammys and such, I mean, he's won so many he can't even count them all. So that was a little bit daunting at first, I would have to admit, knowing that he's worked with Stevie Ray Vaughan and Santana and many of my heroes, Albert Collins. But, you know, when we got down to his studio, we recorded at his studio, which is called Bessie Blues Studios, just outside of Memphis, Tennessee. Any of those fears that I had just were washed away because he's just such a nice man and just has a gentle way of leading and really bringing out the best performances in everybody that he works with.
Going to Memphis, why would you record in Memphis and not, Minneapolis?
Well, we wanted to work with Jim, and his studio is based there. But in addition to that, I think Memphis is just so rich with the history of blues music. We were so privileged to be nominated for Best New Artist Debut of 2012 for the Blues Music Awards. And we got to go down and perform at the awards in Memphis. And you could literally feel, it was palpable, you could feel the blues in the air down there. It's just such a magical place, and I think we channeled some of that into the record.
That's cool. B.B. King got a place down there. Of course, Elvis started there. Quite a few others.
Yeah, the Harold Smith, who I mentioned played second guitar on my record, he's actually the musical director at B.B. King's Blues Club on Beale Street. And speaking of B.B. King, we have 2 shows coming up this month where we get to open for him within a 10-day period. So pretty stoked about that, too.
Where about? What towns?
We're opening for him at the Mayo Civic Center here in my hometown in Rochester, Minnesota. Mm-hmm. And then we're traveling south to beautiful Dubuque, Iowa, to open for him at the Mississippi Moon Room there. He
played here not too, a couple years ago, 3 years ago. And I'm just amazed that it's like they have to lead him on stage, but once the guitar goes in his hands, he could be 20,
Right. I mean, I think there are certain things about blues that really transcend time, and he's the king, When I was a little kid, my dad will tell this story too, but I would cut out my school picture and send him a letter, when I was in kindergarten and first grade, and say I was his biggest fan. And that's kind of how I grew up, is those were my heroes. And so to get to open for him is really an honor.
And the flow of the CD, especially the sophomore one, All In, might as well plug the title a little bit. What a flow it has to it.
Thank you. The opening track is one called Buried Alive, and that's a song that I wrote about a toxic relationship, not necessarily autobiographical, but just about when 2 people have a really strong attraction to one another, but it's not the best to stay together, and how that feels. And we made a music video in support of that through a wonderful company in Minneapolis called Whiteout Media. And so that song has really gotten a lot of attention because of the video. And then, as you said, it just kind of flows. We've got a Solomon Burke tune on there called Cry to Me, and even a B.B. King song at the end.
So what is your favorite song off the CD if you had to pick one?
The song that's closest to my heart is probably the final track, and it's called Dreamin' or Dyin'. And that was something that came to me just in a moment of quiet in my music room when I was sitting at my piano. And I literally wrote it all in one night, and it was kind of about the quandary of having my day job and yet, you know, feeling the love of blues music and wanting to share that with people, and where do I go from here, and that's kind of what that song's about.
I can hold you in my arms, and your love won't keep me safe from any harm. Still I chase you, but you run from me. I think maybe this wasn't meant to be. 'Cause the minute I stop dreaming is the minute that I die. What's the use of living without dreaming, even if they pass me by? As a young girl, I didn't think you'd be mine. Everybody told me you're a smart girl, use your mind. But the song in my heart, it kept begging to escape. I didn't hesitate. 'Cause the minute I stop dreaming is the minute that I die. What's the use living without dreaming, even if they pass me by? For the blues, that's the price I pay. 'Cause the minute I stop dreaming is the minute that I die. What's the use of living without dreaming, even if they pass me by?
So as a youngster, I know your dad, was a huge influence. Did you start off singing and playing at an early age?
I did. However, it was always very important for both of my parents that I finish college before I joined a band. They have always instilled the importance of education in me. So I definitely sang for fun, but it wasn't until after I got my bachelor's degree that I joined my dad's band. And I was in that band. It was called Plan B for about 5 years. And then I decided it was time to break off on my own, and my dad actually came along with me. And since forming my own band, I've gone on to get a master's degree too. So that love of education that my parents kind of planted in me, I think is really important. And it's important for young kids that are wanting to come up in music to know that you kind of need to have other options too. It's a tough business.
Yeah, it's very tough. And also, Minnesota, were you an outdoorsy type person?
Absolutely. Yeah, I went on vacations to the Boundary Waters canoe area, fishing. My dad is an avid hunter. So yes, of course, we love the outdoors. And
what's up next for you besides, the weekend tours? Is that kind of what you're looking for the future, is playing on weekends and keeping your job?
No, I would definitely love to be able to leave my day job at some point, and it's looking like that's coming up much sooner than planned, because the weekends start trickling into the week more and more as we are getting out there more. We'd love to see us get to Europe and on the blues cruise and really share our music in all different markets. And as I'm looking ahead at my schedule at the end of the summer and beginning of fall, it looks like that's going to happen here really soon. So
are you international at all, flavor-wise? Do you have any contacts in Europe or even Canada?
My booking agency does have some international contacts, and we're looking at that for the first quarter of 2014, getting into those markets. But right now we're really staying busy with a lot of the festivals and such through this summer and fall. So
if individuals wanted more info on you, what would you suggest? Do you have Facebook?
Absolutely. I have a Facebook page, which is Sena Ehrhardt Band, and they can also go to my website. It was just recently updated within this week to include some new tour dates and pictures, and that is senaehrhardt.com.
Okay. And what would you say is the hardest thing about trying to make it in the music business?
I don't even know if I'd say there's something hard about it. I would just say you have to want it. You have to love the music that you're doing and keep the spirit of the songs in your heart at all times, because it can be a grind, out driving on the road a lot. And you just have to keep that love of the music in your heart and remember why you're doing it. And for me and my band, that's to bring some happiness to the people that we play for.
So you're on a tour bus type situation?
We actually have a big truck with a trailer, so it's kind of close quarters. We know each other very well.
Yeah, and I mean, Minneapolis to Denver, it's got to be a couple thousand miles, or...
Yeah, for the festival that we're playing out in Winter Park, Colorado this summer, we're flying. We do fly sometimes. Yeah, we flew out to Pennsylvania last summer and Vegas, and so there are times when we hop on a plane.
So you kind of have a hassle with equipment then, huh?
Right.
Yeah. So what kind of instrument do you play besides guitar?
I don't play guitar, actually. My dad, Ed Ehrhardt, and Cole Allen are the guitar players in my band. I'm the vocalist, and as far as writing goes, I play piano for that. But I don't actually play piano on stage. I think someday I'll be at that point, but I use it more as a tool for writing. I took lessons for many, many years as a young girl. So
your sophomore album over your freshman album, what's the biggest difference in the two?
I think there's a lot of growth from Leave the Light On, which was my first record, to the sophomore record. Some of the material that we explore that I'm looking at in particular with my writing is a little bit darker, kind of sees some of the struggles of humanity. There's a couple songs about alcoholism and addiction, just some things that have touched me personally with family members and friends, and kind of diving into those things.
And what about your work situation? You must run into You must have a few songs that geared up from people in your work.
Yeah, working in cardiovascular surgery, I see people when they're at their lowest point. They're going to go into a major heart surgery, and I'm speaking with them on the phone and helping counsel them through that process prior to their surgery. And I think you kind of see the vulnerability of humanity at that time. And that definitely maybe I would say is a subconscious influence in my writing.
Yeah, definitely the blues when you get in those situations.
Absolutely.
So All In is your sophomore CD, and your first one was entitled what?
Leave the Light On.
Leave the Light On. So a person could go online and find both of them if they...
Absolutely. They can find the CDs through SenaEhrhardt.com, my website, or the Blind Pig Records website, and then they are also available on Amazon and iTunes. But the best way to get one is to come and see us live. And then you can meet us and talk to us. We would love to sell you one from the bandstand.
Sounds good. Thank you for talking to me. This has been very enjoyable, and best of luck to you.
Thank you so much. We really hope to get out you guys' way sometime very soon. We really appreciate the support of everybody in radio and just love playing the blues.
Sometimes I have a hard time getting out of my way. If it ain't one thing, it's another, but it's a game we all play. One foot in front of the other, just trying to make the next day. I made some mistakes, I had some bad breaks, I made it hard on myself. I done some things, I said some things I wish I kept to myself. But what's done is done, I can't help but find, live and learn. Live and learn, sometimes you win, sometimes you get burned. Live and learn. Live and learn, it's the fix we're all in. If you won't fight, you can't win. Sometimes you win, sometimes you get burned. Live and learn. Live and learn, it's the fix we're all in. If you won't fight, you can win. I made some choices, listened to some voices I wish I hadn't heard. I know they might mean well, but best I can tell, these lessons are mine to learn. I might not always be right, but I'ma fight the good fight. Live and learn. then learn.
My name is Beebs, inviting you to join us next Tuesday at 1:30 for Open Mic, our weekly program featuring local and not-so-local artists. If you would like to be a guest on Open Mic, send us an email at kgpr@msugf.edu, or you may call us at 268-3739. Thank you for listening and supporting Montana Public Radio, 89.9 FM, KGPR, Great Falls.